I want to invite you to give yourself the permission to experience yourself with more pleasure. I want to invite you to deeply connect with yourself and to really, really feel yourself and to get intimate with yourself. So this channel here, my YouTube channel, is called ORGASMIC. And it is part of my mission to guide thousands of female leaders into the most orgasmic state. And the most orgasmic state is being experienced when we are truly expressing ourselves. And very often we have that idea, experiencing ourselves, like in that state of ekstase, means that it's just like the good stuff. But being in ekstase means being you. And it means being all of you. And I'm not here to tell you everything is just going to be sparkly and light and beautiful. I'm here to tell you that there are sparks and light and beauty in the moments where the challenges appear. And that these are the moments where you actually have access as well to an even greater unfolding of pleasure and of ekstase and of really feeling yourself and experiencing yourself deeply. So it all is about you giving yourself the permission to experience yourself fully, the whole spectrum, but not identifying yourself when the whole spectrum appears, like when the dark parts appear. Not identifying yourself with it. Rather, knowing that you are limitless, knowing that you are love, knowing that you are abundance, knowing that you are prosperity, knowing that you are bliss. And from that knowing, from that identity, you're moving through that, whatever it is. And trust me, you will experiencing yourself in deep pleasure, in ekstase. You will be orgasmic being you. And that is my mission. For you to experience yourself and life and your business in that way. And that is connected to your desires. Like your desires, again, your desires are your portal to the orgasmic, to experiencing the orgasmic, to experiencing yourself in deep pleasure. Your desires are your portal. When you don't listen to your desires, when you don't listen to your deepest desires, and when you don't go for it, you will never experience yourself in deep pleasure. It just won't happen. It just won't happen. Because the desires are the opening for you, for more of you. So then when we're opening for our desires, what's happening? On the one hand, there's the excitement, the pleasure, the fire that is being ignited, the gratitude, the heart wide open. That's one way that we love. That's actually the reason why we go for it, to experience more of that within us. So then the other part of it, fear, doubt, frustration, the whatever conditioning is there in relationship to that. But this is actually where you're opening up for even more intimacy with yourself, for even a deeper pleasure. That's what we're forgetting. And this is why it is very, very dear to my heart that you open up for yourself in every moment and stop making pleasure look a certain way, to open up for pleasure in any moment. And what I said, pleasure is connected, like our desires are, of course, something that makes us experience pleasure. Like my desires, like when I just think about them, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, like the excitement, the fire in me ignited, the passion, the love, the pleasure. So then this is actually your most natural state that is being invoked through you giving yourself the permission to go for your desires. So then it's about you being connected with your most natural state, which is being with it all. And something really, for me personally, pleasure, desires, the orgasmic ekstase, I really experienced when I connected deeper with that feminine part of me again. It was like a whole opening of a new experience. And on the one hand, it was, as I just shared, like that fire, that excitement, that passion that I always had within me, that I suppressed for a long time though, which most of us are doing because it's just too much in this collective to express. People get scared. It's just something like not normal when you're too excited, when you're too passionate about something, when experiencing too much pleasure. So I suppressed it for a long time. And some years ago, I actually got guided to Mexico. So I went to Mexico. I went there on a retreat that I wanted to attend for many years. And then I finally went there. And then I went to a beautiful, beautiful island close by the retreat location. And that island is called Cozumel. And I immediately fell in love with the island, and this island became home. So I moved there around 3 years ago. I went there and I stayed. And that island is a very, very powerful, very, very, very energetic space to be. And the other day I noticed how me being there actually activated more of that within me, like the sensuality, the sexuality, that sexual creative force, that femme fatale, that dark feminine energy, the softness, the receivership, the being wide open, surrendering, like take me. That's what Cozumel really, really activated within me. And I only recently realized that. And the reason why I'm sharing it with you, that island is the island of the goddess Ixchel. And the goddess Ixchel is the goddess of fertility. So it's like being fertile for your projects, fertile for making love with life, being fertile, like being plugged into source. And again, you are a source, so being plugged into you, and part of you is that feminine energy, that soft feminine energy, which is like being wide open, surrendering, receiving, It's like the soft feminine energy. But then at the same time, we have the dark feminine energy. Like the one like connected to her sexual creative force, the life force. Ignited by a desire, ignited by a mission. Feeling the fire, feeling the passion. Going through whatever it takes. Standing tall in the fire. Surrendering. So it's that beautiful dance between the dark and the light, the dark and the softness. I just like to call it this way right now, like the soft feminine and the darker feminine. And the darker feminine, that's like the woman that is untamed, that is wild, that expresses herself with all that is. That feels herself with all that is. And there's a power that is unlocked when you're giving yourself that permission to be it all. And when you give yourself the permission to be it all, you're gonna have it all and beyond. Because you're no longer creating from your limitation. You're giving yourself the permission to let it work through you. But there's that dance between the softness, as I just shared, like surrendering, being open, knowing when it's time to rest, doing nothing, enjoying yourself fully, being nourished, being taken care of, letting go, receiving, noticing the beauty and the magic all around you and within you. It's like the soft part. And the more intense part of the feminine, the darker part, like the femme fatale, it's like the passionate one. The intense one, like connected to her power. Ignited by a fire, by a mission, like pleasure, living, expressing herself wildly, untamed. Connected to that sexual creative force. It's that dance between the two. It's that balance. You can't just have the one without the other. And it's the same. You can either like call it like the masculine and the feminine. But I feel like there is that this distinguishment. There's that differentiation between like the soft feminine and the darker feminine that I experience in a very powerful way. And then of course then there is the feminine and the masculine that we need as well, like the feminine that is more flowy, more intuitive, and then the masculine that is really like holding the space, giving the space for the more feminine to flow through. But that's a topic for another time. The energetics of the masculine and the feminine within you.